Hey guys, welcome back to another update. This is Cruzer update video number 3. So in the last couple weeks or month or so, I've had quite a few people start to email me and ask me when I'm going to have another update posted, so here it is. Progress has slowed down a little bit on the airplane because I've started another big project. I'm kind of redoing my hangar right now. When I bought this hangar, it has a kitchen area installed and it was kind of crappy cabinets and a crappy countertop and everything else. So I ripped all that out, put in some flooring, got some cool pictures for the wall. I've got a new kitchen coming in. It should be here in 9 days from now. But that's going to be a separate video once I get all that put in. I don't want to show you too much now. Once I get that all done, then I'll make another video showing you the kitchen. Some of the other things I've worked on is I've got hangar heat put in. Some of you guys are asking about the leading edge recognition light, if I finished that up. No, and I'll show you why and where I'm at on that. The electrical system is done on the airplane. The cowling is installed, although that's going to be a separate video too because this UL Power cowling is crap. For now, let me show you what I've started doing on the hangar. This is the Radiant style heat. It's 40 feet, 125,000 BTU. This heater is made by International Radiant Heat, I think is the name of the company. They're right here in Michigan in Warren, which is just about an hour away. So I drove down there and bought the unit myself. I paid $1,800 for the unit. And then I was gonna install it myself, which turned out to be a bigger job than I wanted to do. So I found some HVAC guys. I paid them $1,700 and they came and put this in 2 days. This entire door and frame I'm having replaced. This is the lens from Zenith, and no matter what I do, I cannot get it to fit on the inside of this curve. I've even put it in the oven a couple times, and when it was warm, I put it on the wing and kind of tried to get the exact contour, but it still just doesn't fit the contour of the wing. So what I found is the lens fits much better on top of the wing because I can push it forward like that, and now it fits the exact contour. So I came up with this great idea, which I thought was an original idea. I'm going to mount this on the outside of the wing and then make a fiberglass, what would you call it, lip or fairing, whatever, that goes all the way around. And then it'll screw into place, and then it'll have instead of having this sharp edge, you'll have a real nice edge with the fiberglass. So that's the plan. I haven't made the fiberglass yet. I thought it was an original idea. Then I went to Oshkosh and I saw another airplane that had done it actually the exact same way. But the nice thing about having it on the outside too is once it's screwed in, it kind of holds all these edges down and nice. So it fits real nice on the outside of the wing. And I have some other fiberglass parts that I need to make. And that's why I haven't done this yet. I want to do all the fiberglass at once. So once I'm ready to make the other fairings that I'm going to make, I'll finish this up. So like I said, the next step I'm going to start working on is fitting the front windshield. Once the front windshield is on, I can attach the top windshield or window, which is actually just sitting in place right now. And then I can fit the doors. I did prime and paint these pieces. This is actually just primer, but if you look on the insides are painted. I've got the experimental sticker on there on both sides. Right now I'm having my seats made. The same company that made the 1 Week Wonder seats is making my seats. They should be done, they said, by about the end of October. I want to show you the carpet. This is a blue carpet I've installed. The back of this carpet on this back bulkhead is secured with carpet tape, only to this line right here. Everything forward of that line is not secured right now at all. But with no tape or anything holding it in place, look how nice it lays down. It fits every corner and edge. It really is nice carpet. It fits in here nice. Since it fits so nice with nothing actually even holding it, I'm not going to put a whole lot of tape down, just enough to kind of hold it in place along the edges. And if I ever have to lift it up for whatever reason, it won't be a big hassle to remove. Since the carpet is secured on the very back, I no longer need to get back there. So if you can tell in the video here, I have riveted in this window on both sides. That's done. This other window here is ready to rivet in. I could rivet it in now, but I think I'm just going to wait until after the wings are installed. All right guys, now for probably the biggest part of the update. The electrical system is done and complete. Obviously the 10-inch Dynon HDX screen. And this is kind of neat. It was fun to play around with. I have everything set, like all the parameters for oil pressure and temperature and everything like that. The only thing is I have the AHRS set up and connected, but nothing's adjusted yet on there. Same with the pitot and static lines actually aren't even connected to the AHRS box yet. The radio and intercom are installed. They work nice. I rolled the airplane out to the hangar and transmit and receive, so that's nice. Here I have an iPad mounted here with ForeFlight. On the center console, you guys might have seen this before. I have the key, master switch, and an avionics master. And this is one of those switches that lock in place, so I can't accidentally turn it off in flight. Just my 4 lights, my parking brake, fuel pump 1 and 2. So moving behind the panel, but just to give you a quick overview, I have these 2 L angles going from the panel up to the firewall. They're mounted on little rubber grommets. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but I figured it might just take some vibration out of it. This box right here is the engine module. Then you have the ADS-B, and then on here, under here, there are 2 these are 2 fuse blocks with 6 fuses per block. Now everything is mounted upside down, and that is because eventually, you know, obviously this aluminum gets closed, and the way you're going to access everything later is from the bottom. So if I ever need to change a fuse, I can get to it right under the panel from there. Now for my electrical system, I had done some research on my own, and I kind of designed a system myself and drew a nice electrical schematic. And then I sent it off to Steinair, and I told them to fix any mistakes or add circuit protections where needed, check the wiring sizes that I had. And that was a couple $100 and definitely worth every single penny.
All right, so just real quick so I don't bore you with all the details. The way I have it, I call this my distribution bus. This is where power comes into the bus, and then it splits off to 3 different buses. It goes to the avionics master, because it comes up here to the avionics relay. This red wire right here goes to the avionics switch, obviously trips the relay and gives it power here. Power comes back through here, loops around, you can follow it around these 2 big wires right here, and goes to the avionics bus, and then the one next to it over here, that comes over, same way, big wire here, comes over and powers just the main bus. Also have another big wire coming from the distribution bus here, that comes over, runs along there, and comes over here, and I call this the essential bus. These are things that I always want to make sure I have power for. The ECU, the pumps, the EFIS, alternators on there. So if one of them does trip in flight, say like the ECU, obviously I'm going to try to reset it because that's what keeps the engine running. Everything else is on fuses, which don't affect the flight at all. And like I was saying, I have basically 12 fuses in these 2 fuse blocks here. And when I was wiring up the radio and intercom, I needed 1 more. So I didn't have any space for another one. So what I did was I had to get another little fuse block here. And here's the one here that I added. This fuse block, I looked everywhere for a place to mount it, and there was just nowhere to mount it. So I squeezed it in right up there on the firewall. From underneath the panel later on, I can still get up here and change this fuse if I ever need to. The only thing it's not complete yet on the whole electrical system is this. This is the big, huge capacitor for the UL power engine. These wires come out here, go through here, and then right now they're just hanging loose up here because I don't have the terminals to connect it to the battery. I need these big yellow ones like this, and I'm out of them. So I've ordered more from Spruce. Once they come in, I'll hook that up and the electrical system will be 100% done. Some of these other wires you see here, like this loop right here is coming from the harness on the UL power, and these aren't being used, but I didn't want to just cut them off, so I've just looped them up here in case, for whatever reason in the future, I ever need to use them or add a feature or something like that. Same with these cables wound up here in a loop. These are from the harness, the pre-made harness on the intercom. And they don't get used, but in the future, if I ever want to add a feature or something like that, I may want to use them. So instead of cutting them off, I just rolled them up and zip tied them there. So that's what I mean. Like the electrical system, I tried to make it real neat. I tried to run the wires real neat, keep them all bound together nice. But the more you keep adding stuff like that and this loop and everything, it just kind of starts to get a little bit messier than I wanted. But nobody sees it anyway. It's behind the panel. Now with all the wires running through the center of the console, they're all coming down here, and then they get bound together here, and then they go up to, and run to wherever they need to run. Some of these wires I couldn't fit under here, so they have to go through here, which means on this side piece of the center console, I've cut a little, this will kind of go in like this, and I've just cut a little slot out of that piece, so you'll just see a couple wires going right through the corner right there. And then the carpet will come down here, and same thing, I'll cut just a little hole in the carpet or a slot in the carpet to let the wires go through. Yeah, the only place it kind of turned into a rat's nest is right up here behind the switches. And it's just because with all the wires coming in here, some go up, some go down, some go left, some go right. And it's hard to get my hands in there. So this is that's about as neat as I could get it. It'll all be hidden behind the center console anyway, but I like to have everything real nice and neat. So it's not perfect, but I've seen a lot worse. On the other side of the fuselage behind the EFA screen, there's some more wires that are just kind of rolled up and bound together. They're not used for anything, but I don't want to cut them because in the future, you never know if I'm going to want to add something or not. So here's the ELT. This is the trim switch, and then the indicator over here. This right here is the actual comm radio. It's mounted under here. So the harness comes up and just kind of goes into the harness. I think I still need to put a few zip ties together on some places. Again, these are extra wires. Instead of cutting them, I just looped them up. You guys have seen this before. They exit the firewall here and come out here and run to wherever they need to go up in the engine compartment. All right, if you can see where I'm at right now, I'm on the bottom of the airplane in the access hatch. Right behind there is where I have this mounted. Now this has to be mounted, I think the manual says plus or minus 1 degree from level with the fuselage. So what I did is I designed this little mount here that lets me rotate this. So once I have proper air pressure in the tires and the wings mounted and everything's done, I can set this to where it's exactly level, just tighten these 2 bolts, and it should work perfect. All right, one other area I want to show you on the back of the airplane is I've made these pieces here to close up that big hole. And you can see when you move the elevators, it's always sealed. On the bottom, I've made this piece right here, and it closes up the hole on the bottom. Of course, the only time it's completely closed on the bottom is when the elevator is full down. If the elevator was level in flight, it'd be about right here, so you still have a little bit of a gap, but that's good enough. So that's done on both sides. So that should, I figure, give me about another 30 miles an hour with the reduction in drag. Well, thanks for watching. That is the update. That's where I'm currently at on the whole Cruzer project. One of the things I want to mention before you go, please visit the zenithowner.com website. It's a real nice community for people that are building or flying Zenith airplanes. Log on, sign up for an account on the forums. It's free, of course, to use. And post your stories, share pictures, let us know how you're doing on your project, because I'm just as curious to see how you guys are doing. I look for a lot of builders logs online so I can look at how you guys are doing things and I can get ideas. On the zenithowner.com website, I do have a page where I'm trying to populate it with a link to everybody's website. So if you have a website, let me know. Email it to me, just give me the link and I'll put it on there, and other people will be able to find your site. Happy building.